data provided by the homeowner, consisting of a scale drawing of the yard and a one-page questionnaire, to provide you with a professional sprinkler system design. Keep in mind that this information must be as accurate as possible. Before we begin, there are a few other items that will be needed as we're collecting the necessary data. A water pressure gauge, which can be obtained from your local Rainbird dealer, a piece of string at least 5 inches long, a tape measure, a measurable 5-gallon bucket, a watch that can display seconds, and a pencil and paper. To start, we need to find out your property's water pressure. Because water usage in your neighborhood can vary throughout the day, try to conduct this test as close as possible to the time of day you plan to irrigate. Avoid watering during the heat of the day and after sunset to help prevent water loss and fungus problems. Early morning before sunrise is the best time of day to irrigate. Make sure no water is being used either outside or inside your house. Attach the pressure gauge to an outside faucet that's as close as possible to the main supply line. Then slowly turn on the faucet until it's fully opened. Now you can read and record the system's static pressure, which is the pressure in the pipes when no water is running. It's measured in pounds per square inch, or PSI. The ideal pressure should fall somewhere between 40 and 60 PSI. If your supply falls outside these numbers, your system's performance may be less predictable. Check with Rainbird Technical Support if you have questions. While we're here, let's determine the water capacity or flow for your property. Remove the pressure gauge and place the measurable 5-gallon bucket under the faucet. The plan is to determine exactly how many seconds it takes to fill the bucket up to the 5-gallon mark. So, when ready, quickly open the faucet all the way and note the seconds it takes for the water level to reach the mark. We need a reading in gallons per minute, or GPM, so you'll need to do some math. Take the number of gallons and divide that number by the number of seconds it took to fill the bucket. When you have that number, multiply it by 60, because there are 60 seconds in a minute. Round the answer down to the nearest whole number if necessary. You now have your property's flow rate in gallons per minute, or GPM. Next, locate the water meter. Look for the size stamped somewhere on the outside. You'll see 5/8 or 3/4 or 1 inch. Mark the appropriate box on your questionnaire. The pipe that runs from the water meter to your home is called the service line. The questionnaire asks for its type and size. The type will either be plastic, copper, or galvanized steel. To determine the size, wrap a piece of string around the pipe. Then measure to see its length. If the line is made of copper, 2 3/4 inches of string means the pipe is 3/4 inch. 3 1/2 inches of string tells us the copper pipe is 1 inch. And if the string is 4 3/8 inches, you have an 1 1/4 copper service line. Because their wall thickness is about the same, string length to determine the service line size for plastic or galvanized pipe is the same. If the string measures 3 1/4 inches, the service line size is 3/4 inch. 4 inches means the pipe is 1 inch. And if it takes 5 inches of string to go around the pipe, it's 1 1/4. The next thing we need to do is measure the yard. Make a rough sketch of everything as you measure and write down the distances. Be sure to include your house, garage, and any other buildings, all sidewalks, patios and driveways, fences and walls, and of course all grass areas, flower beds, trees, and shrubs. Once you have all the information, you can transfer everything onto the graph paper. First, pick the scale that you will be using by deciding if each inch on the graph paper will represent 10 or 20 or 30 feet. Then carefully transfer your measurements to create a precise scale drawing of all the features in your yard. Next, label the various areas according to the plant material growing there. Also, let the designers know about any unique places in your yard that may have special watering requirements, such as an area that is mostly in shade, or an area that has a slope. Then, indicate the location of the water meter with a box, the place you have in mind for the timer with a circle, and if you want to designate locations for the valves, mark them with an X. With the scale drawing completed, we can finish